Is the Audi R8 a good car? The 2021 Audi R8 is an incredible extravagant sports vehicle that offers the charm of an outlandish two-seater and the ordinary drivability and solace of a commonplace Audi. The incredible V10 motor conveys very fast speed increase, and the taking care of is extremely sharp. Concerning its potential as a venture, clearly the V10 motor makes the R8 an expected gatherer's vehicle. Past R8 models like your 6-speed 2012 model have kept their worth well, however the 911 additionally keeps its worth. The 911 Turbo isn't the best speculation generally, yet 911s are famous for not devaluing. Number 1. Outline the most regularly of the ordinary supercars. Since it's an Audi, in light of the fact that the Lodge will contain 95th percentile individuals, since it's ergonomically solid, since it's dependable and very much fabricated and comes from an organization that forms roughly 1.8 million other solid, all-around constructed vehicles consistently. Yet in addition, shouting 8,700 revolutions per minute V10. Strange juxtaposition. Audi, equitable doyen of the Waitrose class, being one of the last strongholds of common yearning. At the point when all others are scaling back and turbocharging, to the impediment of clamor and reaction, the R8 endures with a free-breathing 5.2-liter V10. It will not generally be this way. We know a V6 half-breed is coming. Indeed, we're nearly amazed it's not here yet. However, for the time being the reach starts and finishes with V10. Presently with more force. As you can judge by the inconspicuously edgier nose, the R8 has been facelifted. This is its midlife redo, a delicate lift to help it stay serious and endure an additional 4 years or so discounted. Still a 2-model reach, yet with the Plus currently renamed Performance. That has gotten a lift from 604 to 614 bhp, while the section-level model is up from 533 to 562 bhp. A figure that puts it head-to-head with McLaren's 570s. The back drive just RWS? That is gone at this point. Apparently you're taking a gander at new, more keen guards at the two finishes, bigger fumes pipes and those 3 spaces across the nose that behold back to the 1984 Sport Quattro Group B rally vehicle. They're additionally on the new A1. Somewhere else the arrangement has been to partially hone the driving experience by hardening the suspension, fitting another carbon against move bar at the front, 40% lighter than the old steel one, and recalibrating the controlling, particularly the discretionary variable proportion dynamic steering. Last valuing hasn't yet been declared, however Audi has said it'll begin at around £128,000 and ascent of scarcely £2,000. First conveyances of the 4WD supercar will begin from the get-go in 2019. Number 2. Driving it's the R8's a duality that separates it from its opponents. Others. McLaren's 570s, the AMG GT, Porsche 911 GT3 are crisper, edgier and more energizing to drive. In any case, none hits the high notes of regular ease of use and track day warblers vary as totally as the Audi R8. Indeed, just a single vehicle, the Porsche 911 Turbo, makes a superior showing of being an everyday, and that, for all its speed and strength, doesn't feel as exceptional as the R8. Since beyond a shadow of a doubt, a mid-mounted V10 is something uncommon. Yet in addition a significant submissive one. Continuously loud at fire up, indeed, yet this is a V10 of uncommon capacity, so quiet and manageable is it when simply pottering, allowing the motor to chatter to itself and the twin-grasp gearbox self-select the proportions. In the event that you need to boost this side of its character, have the discretionary versatile suspension, which truly relax off the ride in and out of town, despite the fact that it likewise gets an odd porpoising over speed bumps. Actually, I appreciate the more normal feel of the standard suspension. What's more, I'd manage without the discretionary dynamic guiding as well. Audi has endured with this variable proportion framework. A stuff on the controlling section permits the directing proportion to be changed, so you need less lock to circumvent corners. It used to be strangely counterfeit, yet the most recent adaptation is substantially more persuading. At the end of the day everything it's doing is saving a touch of armwork, and is yet looting a touch of feel based on what is usually an excellent setup. It's another crate we'd leave unticked. The middle diff is electronically controlled, guaranteeing it's a back drive vehicle for dexterity except if it needs a portion of front drive for security. Arrange every one of these frameworks into their sportiest modes and the R8 gets super responsive. It is anything but a vehicle you slide excessively, however you feel the little tire slip points in distinctive detail. The fundamental powerful analysis of this second-era R8 was that it did not have a touch of nibble on turn-in. The suspension changes have been focused at improving that, and have halfway succeeded. The nose feels somewhat quicker and grippier, both regarding guiding reaction simply askew and the vehicle responding as the suspension packs. Already there was this fragmentary deferral and a feeling that the vehicle was understeering even before it was. Presently it's somewhat quicker, if still not comparable for customizability and sharpness as the McLaren 570S. Fault the weight. Regardless of utilizing a crossover carbon aluminum undercarriage, the two-seat R8 weighs 1,660 kg unladen, about 200 kg more than the McLaren. Weight-saving money on the performance form strips 65 kg out of that. The R8 is pleasantly adjusted through and of corners. Its inclination is to understeer somewhat, yet you need to contemplate falling off the choke in case you're running wide towards the exit. It can chomp back. Yet, all the time you're playing tunes on this marvelous V10. It discharges a magnificent, sinister chatter that fills in power as it homes in on the 8,700 revolutions per minute cutout. Its high fire-up responses are tack-sharp, epically intense, and seems like the drama of the gods. It's a genuine mark of separation. Do you see the additional force? The extra titanium valvetrain parts? Obviously not. You're too involved being passed up what an extraordinary motor this is to be that logical. How long Audi will actually want to continue advocating its essence, particularly when the V6 crossover shows up, is impossible to say. Intense for a firm to completely, genuinely guarantee to be behind the zero discharge upset when it's likewise selling a 300 grams per kilometer, 23 mpg supercar. Space for both, we say. The brakes are unaltered, steel wave rotors on the standard R8, carbon pottery for the performance. However, Audi is asserting a decrease in slowing down distance, by 5 meters from 124 miles per hour, because of another compound for the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. Number 3. Within may be the best supercar lodge of all. It's extensive. Look at the expansive rack behind the seats, the headroom and feeling of room incited by the faraway windscreen, but then cozy. It attracts you, concentrates on the guiding and completely computerized run to begin with, and afterward prods your view outwards to such perfectly created subtleties as the warming controls. It's the material execution and quality that truly hits home, even far in excess of a Porsche 911. The physicality is breathtakingly done, the association of the controls is magnificent, the activity of the controls is simply so. It's a vehicle you can spend quite a while in, basically squeezing catches and moving switches. Driving position? You, similar to me, may need a touch of additional range on the controlling wheel, and we'd propose dodging the sportiest seats, which are excessively upstanding and daintily cushioned for comfort. It's not as simple to see out of as a McLaren Sports Series or 911, and it feels wide. However, this is a plan-driven lodge that deals with essentially every level. Simply be cautioned, there's very little burden space under the nose. The 112-liter territory restricted by the presence of those front drive shafts. Compensate for it by misusing that 226-liter rack. Changes for the facelifted adaptation are unobtrusive. New silver and earthy colored shading plans inside, and the turning around camera now standard. Audi's virtual presentation is as yet the benchmark advanced scramble for neatness and association of data. Number 4. Claiming as we referenced costs haven't changed a lot, so you're taking a gander at a £128,000 passage for the 562 bhp form, with the 614 bhp performance costing around £15,000 more. The Spider is about £9,000 more. Residuals are acceptable. Running costs aren't. Practically the situation for all supercars. However, the downside of that V10 is its economy and CO2. The specific figures for the facelift vehicle aren't out yet, however we're taking a gander at 22 mpg and around 300 grams per kilometer of CO2. The expenses will not make any difference, the short stops between fill-ups, around each 250 miles, may. I know, you don't think the R8 is a GT, yet trust us, it is. It's similarly as agreeable and fit for crushing through distance as an Aston Martin Vantage or DB11 besides. It is an extremely complete vehicle. What's more, a gorgeous one, as well. At any rate at the front, we're not persuaded by the blockier dark venting at the back, Traces of old Lamborghini Gallardo, maybe? A portion of the wheels are somewhat fastidious, as well. Spec cautiously. Also, appreciate the now standard all-LED lights. They're great. Number 5. Decision. Its motor and gigantic expansiveness of capacity cause it to feel progressively unique. A supercar that completely merits its spot at the top table. Audi's determination in staying with an enormous limit, normally suctioned V10, is progressively giving it a genuine mark of separation when practically the entirety of its adversaries are persuaded by twin super V8s, or a level 6, OBVS. The motor has just been gently changed for the facelift, the additional modest bunch of torque scarcely perceptible, however this is as yet a stickout, gives over staggering motor. What's more, it's the focal point of what stays a total supercar. The visual changes have given the front end a sharpness that has been replicated by the mechanical adjustments under. It's as yet not as immediate and exact as a McLaren Sports Series or Porsche GT3, yet there's additional chomp on turn-in and prominently improved controlling feel. We'll now not clear you on the off chance that you demand having the variable proportion dynamic steering, by the same token. It's barely noticeable the R8 among more current, fresher, more powerful opponents with more outlandish identifications. Yet rather than feeling obsolete, its motor and gigantic broadness of capacity cause it to feel progressively unique. A supercar that completely merits its spot at the top table.